Undercover Policing Inquiry, Tranche 2, Phase 2, Day 31. We're listening to even more nonsense from Andy Coles. He's been questioned this morning about the way in which, about his behaviour towards Andrew McGann, towards a number of other women who called him a creep, but Andrew McGann, who said that he made unwanted sexual advances towards her a number of times. He gave some really weird questions about that. He admitted to sharing a bed with her. According to her evidence, he was noticeably aroused and was making sexual advances. He said, he may have been aroused, but he didn't make any sexual advances. I mean, it's just kind of gross just listening to it in the first place. He claims it's all part of some conspiracy, some grand conspiracy by every woman who he was ever in contact with whilst undercover to paint him as being a creepy lech in order to damage his reputation. I mean, it just doesn't bear any nonsense. I mean, it doesn't bear any sort of examination. This line really. We had he was asked to do his homework, which was to provide any evidence of any intelligence that he received whilst he was in the ALF supports group of upcoming or possible ALF action or ALF action that happened that he was told about. We were taken to a number of reports that Barr had identified as being possible ones. Cole said, no, each one of those, it was some other reason why. And then he sort of rolled back, essentially, saying that everything was in vague terms, that there was no direct, specific evidence. Really not credible. He also said that he made a mistake the previous day with the claim that he hadn't seen the flower thrower. He said he had actually seen the flower thrower, which is wild considering he went into so much detail about what happened outside the Horse and Hounds ball that he hadn't seen the person who threw the flower. Again, it's not at all credible, really. The last section we had was quite complicated, and I think my reporting and my tweets was probably didn't really get to the heart of what the issue was. Essentially, this is related to the fact that one report of Coles was introduced as evidence in a case involving two animal rights activists who had reported on previously, who were later arrested for having incendiary devices in the back of their car. The introduction of this evidence led to the case being dropped, and do you want to join? Okay, fair enough. Led to the case being dropped, and it was as a result of this. There was changes put in place within the SDS about the way in which intelligence was kept and held. So he started reporting a lot less, supposedly after this, and was kind of restricted himself to oral reporting, making telephone calls. It was put to him that this was a wholly improper device to avoid the legislative intention of the Crown Prosecution Service. It's a complicated thing, and I'm not going to pretend that I fully understand the implications of it, but you got the sense that this is quite serious and had a serious impact on the way in which the SDS operated, certainly the way in which it processed intelligence. He started saying, it was pointed out that there was no change in his written reports, and there seemed to be just as many of them. He said, no, those profiles and the like it wouldn't affect that, but it was about intelligence, about specific criminality. Again, as I say, I don't think I've fully kind of got an appreciation of what all this means. I'm sure that somebody else is going to write up a better understanding of it at some point. Look out for that. Other than that, we had plenty of stuff about Coles being creepy towards women. That seemed to be the main sort of topic really of the morning. Alright, there was only a short break. I'll be back at lunchtime. I'll try and get a guest to join me. I did try and get someone this time, but everybody seems quite busy. We had a breach as well when Coles gave the real name of someone who has privacy. It really felt like he did that on purpose. Everybody felt it on purpose. It was during a line of questioning from Barr, which was really putting pressure on him, and he was just panicking. He was trying to think of things to say. He was coming out with a lot of nonsense, and I think he just blurted the name in order to get out of there, to have a break. It was only a very short break, but I think that was enough for him to compose himself again. Anyway, I'll see you at lunchtime. Cheers.